Thanks for joining me. I'm Paper, cut to you with PlanetDestiny, bringing you some Crucible talk about Inferno mode. We are going to be covering Clash specifically. The last time on the rotation we were playing some Control, and I started to find that there was actually a lot of similarities between the modes and the strategies that you want to utilize. And let me give you a quick synopsis on what this video is going to cover. I'm going to start off by playing some clips while I just talk about what Inferno mode is, and some things that you should probably be aware of when playing it. From there, I'm going to be breaking down a complete match that I had, just so you guys can see all the kills and all the setups, so you guys can get a better sense of what you need to do if you want to succeed in Inferno mode. And the main difference between this mode and regular Clash is the lack of the radar. The second thing is that there's no points awarded for assists. And these two changes make a huge difference in the game. The radar is by far the biggest one because it raises the skill cap. Player awareness is now central to how you're going to perform in this game type. Being aware of just solid mechanics like paying attention to the kill feed, knowing where spawn points are going to be based on where your friendlies are is going to play a big part. In regards to teamwork, well, somebody just got the guy that was in my blind spot. If you were to rewind this tape, you would be able to see that there was somebody in my blind spot when I jumped up in the back. And teammates are going to make all the difference as well. That's why I think that this is a more competitive mode, even more so than Iron Banner. That one gets a lot of treatment like it's the competitive mode. It doesn't award you points for losses, but I guess that's because they're trying to get gear, and this is supposed to be more just another flip side to the regular Crucible, and I understand that, but I guess what I'm really saying now that I'm rambling on is that I'd like to see some better prizes in the Crucible. That aside, the lack of rewards for getting assists really pushes forwards low time to kill weapons, and even going back to the radar, the fact that you don't know who's around the corner really makes it so a shotgun is invaluable in this mode. That's just the nature of it. Anytime that you see somebody, because of the low reaction time, because of the lack of radar, means that you want to have a weapon that kills somebody fast. So you're going to be seeing things like Last Word, Thorn, Red Death, shotguns, and snipers. And a lot of things have actually changed. One in particular that sticks out to me a lot is golden guns. I find them a lot weaker in Inferno. When they don't know where to look and they have to check corners, it makes them a lot easier to deal with, especially because they don't get an armor buff. Shoulder charge also seems a lot better to me. If you're running around a corner, if you don't want to run with a shotgun, a shoulder charge is just as good in those scenarios. Alright, we're going to move over to a complete game, guys. We're going to go from an opener, and the strategy here is to be the man in the back. We're going to go spy mode, and that, by the way, is the easiest way to get up here with blink. You just go to the short side on the left, and you're able to blink up there from the bottom without having to jump on that little silo to your left. Now, this is a double-edged sword in this mode, high ground. It lets you see a lot of people, but it also makes it so a lot of people can see you. So you have to be very aware when you're going to be very high up. It's tricky for a bit, but if it's in a common area like this, it's going to be somewhere that everybody's going to be looking when they come up. And you kind of want to be like a fighter jet in this. You want to come in low and fast so people don't see you. You want to try to cut off those angles so you can get behind them. So what you're going to be seeing a lot in this video is how spawn points work so you can get into the action a lot faster. You're also going to be able to get a lot of kills and learn some mechanics from this. So I'm going to sweep the back just to make sure that no one's there, because I don't want them to pull what I'm trying to do to them. If you only have one of your guys in the back, it will not flip the spawns, because then that would cause them to be right behind your team and then they get killed. So a game's designed so it doesn't do that. Once you reach two guys though, it will flip them regardless. And the cutoff is pretty much that pillar right here. Once you cross this, you're pretty much going to end it and flip the spawns. You can see this guy just spawned in. And do I feel bad about this? No, not at all. Do I feel bad about this guy that went to go get a drink? Not at all, because that's just the nature of Inferno mode. If you don't do this to other teams, they're going to do it to you. And I found that the times that I was getting beat in this game, it was that the other team was running a similar strategy. Either they had a guy in the back, they would continuously push our spawn, or they would just continuously trap us inside of our spawn. All these things are viable in this game, and the more that you understand spawn points, the better that you're going to be at this. And take on one guy, maybe two, three. After that, it gets pretty out of hand, but you cause a lot of havoc in their base. It also makes it so guys get more disoriented. They're not sure what their side is, so they're not sure which way they should be looking. There's a lot of things that this does to a team. And if you don't have a team yourself, try actually running with the people that you're with. Try to stay in a pack. It's actually a lot better in this mode. Before, it used to get you killed because people knew you were there because of the radar, but running in packs now of 2 to 3 is actually a really good idea. You're going to be able to focus down people. The extra awareness alone is really worth it now. And I was expecting that spawn point, but I wasn't expecting him to be looking at me so fast, so I had to go suicide mode. And I'm going to make my way right back here, and I saw this guy through the glass. Glass is actually a lot stronger now. Yep, if you go to the opposite side where our spawn is, then there's a room there where you can actually look through the glass and see what's going on first. And you notice 2 of us there. Now there's a skull there because the other team spawned there. 2 is too many. It's going to flip the spawns regardless of what's going on. And I saw this guy from the corner of my eye. If you rewind it, you can see where we saw this guy. And I'm going to do a quick perimeter check because you don't know if there's going to be more of them, and you don't want them in the back of your spawn. Once I see some of my guys spawn, I'm ready to just start going back to the other side. And you're going to notice I missed that blink because after you get out of your arc blades, you end up having an animation that there's a cooldown. Also like this one I made a choice to run through this grenade because I knew I had the element of surprise, so the health shouldn't be a big deal. And those will not one-shot you once they're on the ground unless you have to be directly under it. You pretty much need to be holding it. And let me give you guys this tip. Whenever you go into cover like that and someone gets a shot on you, they're always going to throw a grenade. So be ready for it. There's 2 things you can do at that point. You can either run towards them, slide, and start shooting them. It's actually a big enough gap that you can take the gunfight while they're getting out of that animation of throwing. Or you can just jump away in anticipation so you don't get killed. And this guy, we caught him at the spawn just before it flipped. And you can see the skull again. And at this point, I bet a lot of you guys are contemplating, am I a dick because I keep flipping the spawns? But I find in this mode, that's just kind of what you need to do. If you stay stagnant, I find that the other team is just going to overwhelm you. And I think there's also a big responsibility on each player to stay aware of what is happening in the game. And the heavy ammo is going to be spawning soon, so I'm going to take a quick opportunity to talk about it. Rockets versus light machine guns. I think light machine guns go a lot further in this mode. I find that the rockets are not as good. Usually I like to be prepared, maybe jump when I see somebody coming so I don't blow myself up. And when it comes to waiting for people, that's not really a viable strategy in this mode either. Anybody can be there ready to pick you off or steal it. Everybody has a responsibility to be on top of that on their own, so be aware of the times. It comes in twice in this game mode. It came in at 6 minutes, and I believe it comes in again in 3. And eventually it's going to happen. Somebody's going to kill you from behind. Someone's going to get inside of your base and possibly cause some havoc. And I'm looking at the kill feed and I thought we killed him, but that's actually a different guy. And it's things like that that can really give you an edge in this game mode. And I know I've already mentioned it, but free roaming supers like the Arc Blades and the Sunsinger I find are super strong. If you're somebody that really likes causing some havoc with your super, try these ones out. Just when you think you're not going to get a kill, you walk around a little bit and you find somebody. And we're getting to the end of the video, so I'm just going to throw a quick summary to you guys. Grab a shotgun, because coming around corners you're going to need something that deals with people very fast and short distance, whether it be a last word, a shoulder charge. You do want to have something for those corners that you're going to be taking. Otherwise, play around with some classes, play around with some strategies. I'm interested in hearing what you guys have to say. Let me know what strategies you guys found to be really good in Inferno. Otherwise, keep your awareness up by listening to sounds, double jumps, slides, reloads, shots fired. You also have to pay attention to your teammates' icons so you know where the spawns are going to be. You want to look for skulls to see if somebody's behind you killing your guys off as they spawn. These are all things that are going to help you guys. I hope you enjoyed the tips. I'm Paper, cut to you with PlanetDestiny, and I'll see you next time.